What is going on, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video. Now in today's video I'll be showing you how to play Control like the pros. Now for some of you that have been subscribers to my YouTube channel for a while, you're going to say, AK, you made a video on this just a couple months back, and that's true, but there has been a small little update to Control on the way that offense is played, and that's actually drastically changed the way that all of the strategies for offense are played, and just sort of the whole mindset for playing Control actually is. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking that down for you. We're going through each map, what the new sort of strategies are, what people are playing now, as opposed to what they were playing just a month or two ago, as well as breaking down what this new rule in the actually in the Control rules mean, and how you can use this to win more games. But if you do end up enjoying today's video, be sure to drop a like, and let's get straight into it. Now, I'm going to start by breaking down the change to the Control rule set that has actually caused this massive change in how Control is played. So, if you remember before, the old system, this was a kill-based system. So, the team that had the most amount of kills or the least combined deaths, I know with eliminations it got a bit confusing to count up, but with the least combined deaths or most kills, they would get defense in round 5. Now, this was very important because of sort of the ease that defense was. It's very easy to win defense and very hard to win offense. So, most sort of even match games would always go to that game 5 or that round 5, sorry. So the sort of the mechanism that decided who got defense for that round was actually massively important. This led to the main sort of game style of Control being play very aggressive on your defense rounds, try and get as many kills as possible. And then on your offense rounds, you can completely give up the objective. As long as you haven't lost any lives, you've kind of done well. And this made Control very, very boring, very annoying to play, just because of the fact it was all about kills. Which also does seem a bit weird, being that the whole objective of Control is to sort of gain control of those points, to capture those points, and surely you'd think that the objective would now count towards sort of winning the game, but in the old system, it didn't. This is where the new system comes along. There's been a few changes. The first one being that the team that gets defense for the final round is the team with the most combined zone ticks. So if you don't know what a zone tick is, every zone has sort of 3 of them, sort of the partial captures, if you will, and the team with the most combined partial captures across their 2 offense rounds will get defense in the last round. Now, this is still beneficial. Defense is still the easier side to win on, but it's a little bit easier. There's sort of more, there's more ways to play because of the second part of the rule, which is now for every zone tick or every partial capture that you get, it adds 20 seconds to the game clock. Now, on the old system, if you finished capturing a zone, you'd get plus 1 minute to the game clock, whereas now for every tick that you get 20 seconds. So with 3 ticks, 3 times 20 seconds is still a minute, but that is distributed a little bit more sort of evenly across the game. So you get a little bit more time to actually sort of make those plays and start capturing those zones. Definitely a big improvement to Control, and you won't see this in the league just yet. If you're watching this video close to when it's gone live, they're still playing the current update. Actually, I think after the majors, which are going on just as I speak. So maybe once this video is being watched, they will sort of move to the new update. But definitely something really big for Control, and it changes the way that Control's played. It's no longer that sort of on offense, you're just trying to limit sort of damage control, trying to limit how many times you die. You can now lose as many lives as you want and actually sort of play for that objective, because if you can get those ticks on the objective, that's going to help you get defense for that last round. So in short, changing from the sort of saving your life and trying to play it tactically just so that you stay alive to the do whatever you need to do just to get those ticks on the control point. So definitely more of an objective focus on the game now, so don't worry about pushing up and getting those spawn traps on offense. All you need to do is make sure you can cap as many zones as possible. But hopefully this sort of clears that up, hopefully that makes sense to you. So what we're now going to do is I'm going to jump onto tac maps for the 3 control maps and break down what the current strategies are that people tend to do. So here we are starting on Checkmate. So now the way that Checkmate used to be played, sort of the main tactic for trying to win was everybody commit to A, or have 2 people commit to A and then 2 people towards the top lane to sort of establish a bit of that map pressure, because you needed to secure that A point before there was any chance of having a go at B, because you needed that 1 minute on the clock to give you enough time to consistently actually try and flood B and try and make something happen. But with the new update and the new sort of tick system, this is where you start to see a bit different. In fact, quite often what you see is a large push actually towards B off the start and top lane again to get that top lane control. It's probably the most essential point to get control of on the whole of Checkmate. You know, you want that top lane control, but then actually you see a push towards B. Now, this is not to actually get a full tick on B. This is normally to get a tick or 2 on B, just to make it a little bit easier, so that once you've sort of, because normally, let me just sort of break it down how it normally goes. You'll normally push B. If you can, you'll get a couple of kills. Slay out, maybe you'll get, let's say, there's our 3 ticks on B. Maybe you'll get 1. Maybe you'll get 2, for instance. But you're not going to finish capping B, because that is quite quite a hard thing to do. In terms of capturing the zones, it is no easier. It's still the same control points, just the way it sort of, the timing has worked a bit if you've got a little bit more time. So, but then once you've got that 1 or 2 ticks on B here, you'll then come back to spawn and then go to A. With that little bit extra time that you got from that initial capturing on B, you can then hopefully have a little bit more time to sort of finish doing A. And once you've got A completed, you can then wrap back to B. But B has been made a little bit easier because you've got those caps at the start. That's the general sort of way that the pros are playing control on Checkmate. If you watch it, I mean, not all teams play exactly the same, but that is something that you do see quite a lot. So sort of using that that tick advantage, you know, if you can get 1 or 2 ticks, that's an extra 20, 40 seconds, and that makes capping A a lot easier. And then once you're capping A a lot easier, you can then sort of got a little bit more time to capture B. So definitely a good change, but that is how control is now for the majority played on Checkmate. Now moving on to Garrison, I do want to say Garrison is something that really you're never going to see in the Pro League, or I certainly never see in the Pro League. Just the pros, if you don't know, there is a veto system. The maps aren't generated by random. Teams actually do sort of ban and pick maps, and it must be that Garrison control is banned for nearly all of them because you rarely ever see it in the Pro League. But there are still some strategies, especially for League play. League play loves Garrison control. So let me break down a few of the strategies that that we like to do. Now B is the easier point to capture. I'm sure that's a bit obvious with the choke point that sort of pushing through this A or sort of pushing through top green into A actually is. So really you are going to want to get B first. But what you do see some people do is you tend to see maybe 2 people push up to the hard point. You've got 1 AR set up in the mid map, maybe on the tanks in the middle, maybe on the floating tank, just to get that little bit of map pressure, and then you send 1 player, maybe a sub or someone that can actually sort of sneak through green and start contesting that point, getting a few ticks on A, and again, maybe if they can get 1 tick or 2 ticks, that's extra time added to the clock. Now this play is also going to be a nuisance because any players that die are going to be spawning at the back, and then if they see that you're capturing both A and B, that's then going to start splitting. Okay, do we go A, do we go B? Normally they'll go A actually, just because A is the harder point to, or sort of the harder point to attack, so they want to make sure that they can, or it's their easier point to defend, sorry, that's the main point. So they're going to want to make sure that they can defend it and don't have to sort of struggle to defend B, because once you've got people set up in lights here, you've got quite a nice easy defense on B, and it's not that hard to hold. So sending that player around there just creates a bit of a distraction, sends the enemy players off spawn sort of towards the A side, giving you a lot more freedom to capture B. Then once you've got the minute extra time from capturing B, you can then start making a play towards A. But that is generally how Garrison's played. Hope you found that one helpful. Last but not least, we move on to Raid. Now this is the one that has been least affected by the change, simply because there isn't really a point that is easier to capture. Both of the points can be captured fairly easy. I know some teams prefer going to A off the start, some teams prefer going to B. Really is sort of down to a bit of team preference. Now this can be similar to the one in the last video. If you haven't seen that, or if you have seen that, you'll sort of recognize this one. But if not, the strat that I like to do is actually send a lot of people, sorry, that's the wrong color there, we want that in blue. You send a lot of people straight off the bat to B, maybe get an AR set up in the top bedroom, but sort of flood towards that B side. Definitely have 1 watching the water steps, so maybe 1 top bedroom, 1 watching the water steps, and then 2 pushing through into the point. Now, are you going to fully capture B? No, probably not. But you can get a couple of ticks on B, and then if they, the players that sort of went to go wrap A or went to go watch A, start wrapping back to B, that then gives you the spawns right here towards the back of A. So then you can get a very quick hop onto the A point and a few ticks on that as well, which, especially with the new system, is going to give you a whole load more time and quite a lot of nice sort of pressure relief in that, you know, you've got more time to make the plays, you've got, yeah, just more time, more freedom to actually play the game. Again, you can go to A off the start if you want to. That is something that you can do, and a lot of teams do. You know, the straight push up into A, 1 to top art, and then 1 maybe to watch the cut off mid or something. That does work as well, but you don't get to utilize the fact that the spawns here are right close on A. But there we are. That is it for my sort of updated how to play control video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to drop a like. Good luck with playing control in league play, scrims, 8s, whenever you're playing it. I really hope this has been helpful. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.